All right, thank you everybody for joining us. We're being joined by Alex Polizzi. We'll take a couple questions from within the room. If you have any questions online, go ahead and press the raise hand button at this time.
All right, man. So you're not exactly right next door to home this week, but probably better than being, Mohegan or San Jose, right?
Yeah, it's something traveling back Midwest after my move, change of plans from earlier this year, and happy to be back and excited to put on a good show here in St. Louis.
Does that make a difference to you, or is it just because you're in a hotel no matter what? That doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, I've been over a couple of times, and there's I have teammates and people traveling to cool places and getting everywhere, but really at the end of the day is a business trip for me. I'm in the hotel anyway. I'm not out sightseeing, and I'm not doing a bunch of cool stuff out in the city. So it's just get here, eyes on the fight, let me just go home.
Sure. You've rebounded pretty nicely, obviously, from the first loss of your career. Talk to me a little bit about the opportunity to kind of keep that streak going, keep that momentum going this week.
Yeah, I've said it before, but it's kind of cliche at the point, you just got to treat every fight that coming up as 0-0, coming into it fresh. And really the only thing I'm looking back for is lessons that we can pull out of fights, and whether that's a win, whether that's a loss, we're always learning, we're always trying to get better and bringing our game into a more refined edge for that next fight.
Your opponent was on a nice run himself before he ran into a pretty tough guy. Do you look at his loss to be able to take some lessons for what he might have learned coming into this one, or is there any way to predict that?
I'm sure that he's on the same trajectory, same kind of idea as I am. Nobody likes losing, but the fact of the matter is that I'm not doing a whole lot of looking at him opponents. I've said it before. I'm more focused on my game plan and what I'm going to bring to the table. So whatever he's cooking up, whatever he's got in store, hopefully he's ready for me.
Rankings wise, you're into the top 10 now. From here on out, it seems like the names just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Talk to me about kind of the way you hope your 2022 plays out in terms of those kind of names that you're likely to get after, assuming you get a win on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's the hope, and we're gonna keep trying to progress up the ranks. As far as the names and numbers go, you guys more know about that than I do. Bellator's paying me to fight people. They say where, they say when. It doesn't matter who. I'm there, ready to put fisticuffs on them and give them a little bit of violence. But there is something to be said about moving up the ranks a little bit, in that competition is going to be tougher. It's going to be stiffer, and we're excited to test our new skills. And again, like I said, that refined edge of our technique and our game, bringing that to harder opponents and bringing some more lessons. It's only looking to be better shows for Bellator in the future.
Do you have a question, Leo?
Yeah. Thanks for taking my question, Alex. What do you think's gonna surprise you the most going into this fight by Jose?
Going to surprise me the most. Again, like I said, I don't watch a lot of opponents' game plan, and I think, initially that sounds like, well, you're not going to be prepared for what he's bringing to the table, but that also goes on the other side. If he comes up with something real different from what he's been doing, it doesn't affect me, because I haven't been paying attention to what he's been doing in the past. Why would something new he's doing affect me in the future? So outside of him having like a set of Goro arms or maybe throwing some pocket sand at me, I don't think he's going to surprise me.
Okay, great. Thanks for taking my question. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to the internet here. Jay Anderson, your line is live.
Hey, thanks very much. And Alex, you touched on it a little there. You did make that move recently out to Nevada, Extreme Couture. Just what has that brought to your game so far?
So just like I was saying, in the top 10, we're building on tougher opponents and learning bigger lessons and refining that game. The move to Extreme Couture, huge. Everybody out there is a bunch of killers, and just been helping me a lot with refining my game. Specifically, everybody knows that I have a pretty heavy background in wrestling, and we out at Couture, we're trying to make sure that we're using that wrestling to advance our striking, and we're using that striking to advance our wrestling. You know, it's nice having those guys out there that have a little bit of every style. And my experience out there in the past has been, you know, there are guys that have been needing me to provide a good look when they're going against wrestling heavy opponents. And, you know, they've a couple times been like, oh, thanks for all this work that you're putting in. And I just tell them straight up, like, you know, I help you with some wrestling. We're going to return the favor. You're going to teach me some striking. We're going to bounce off each other. And in the end, Extreme Couture as a gym is just going to keep getting more powerful and getting better fighters as we move along.
Was there any one point, kind of like an aha moment, where it dawned on you that you needed to make that move, and why Extreme Couture in particular?
Not really an aha moment. Just kind of generally a spot in my life that allowed it. My fiance and I, we recently moved out there. She finished up school, and we were looking to get out of the Midwest. While there were a couple of cities that were looking pretty good, it ended up coming down to Vegas, and my fiance, who is beautiful and wonderful and smart, but doesn't know a lot of fighting, said, well, is Vegas going to be good for you for the fight game? And I said, yeah, I think it'll work out. And, you know, trying a couple of gyms out in Vegas, but ultimately landed at Extreme Couture just because of the bodies that were in the room. And maybe it was just the right time. Maybe it just happened to be lucky, but a lot of big guys in there, a lot of big guys with big skills, and just ended up being the place to stop.
Glad to hear
Nathan?
it worked out.
Thank you so much for your time. Outside of a win on Saturday, what are you looking forward to most in this fight?
Like that question. Thank you. So anyone who's watched me fight knows that specifically part of the game plan is crowding and keeping that control and keeping that pace on folks. Looking to make sure that we're staying away from things like stiff jabs, because, you know, I'm kind of on the shorter side of light heavyweight. We're trying to make our moves in, trying to be smart about it, use our striking to advance our position, stay close, bring some dirty boxing. And like I said, use that striking to advance our wrestling, use that wrestling to advance our striking. Keeping it on them, keeping that pace. And ultimately, I've said it from the beginning, I'm just here to have fun, guys. It's not, I still think it's sort of crazy that Bellator is paying me money to punch people in the face, and like there's not a black and white outside waiting for me. So I mean, I'm here to have a good time.
Do you plan on taking in any local cuisine while you're here?
Local cuisine while I'm here. I'd be loath to leave St. Louis without hitting up a couple barbecue spots. As far as specifics on that, I'd be open to any sort of recommendations. I'm a little bit of a foodie, but I'm sure everybody who has to manage their weight and go a couple days without food, it tends to be an important factor. But yeah, if anyone wants to reach out to me social media wise, hit me up. Easy Polizzi. You can find it on Facebook or on Instagram. Not good at Twitter, but if you want to send me your favorite barbecue joint, hit me up.
I suggest Pappy's. Thanks so much. for your
Pappy's.
time.
All right, we got the one.
We'll go to a couple more questions here. Santiago?
Good afternoon, Alex. Big hello from Amsterdam. Thank you for the time. You have been with Bellator MMA for about 18 months now. How are you experiencing your time in a major MMA promotion? And did Bellator take good care of you in those 18 months?
Yes, I've been very happy with Bellator these past 18 months. If you've been following my career, you know I got picked up right away off of that LFA championship. Things were a little strange just because everything got a little strange right about that March 2020 point. But yeah, since then, I don't know if it's just been how they've operated the whole time, or whether it was COVID related. But I remember really appreciating the efficiency of, we're gonna get you in, you're gonna be in the bubble quick, gonna move out, we're gonna pay you, and that's it. You know, there's not any of this chasing people around, and there's not a whole lot of fluff to go around. They know what they're doing, and they're efficient about it, and getting it done in the right way in the right time. And then, you know, as far as finding opponents and getting fighting on time and appropriately, I've been lucky enough not to take a bunch of damage. And so I've been able to fight pretty frequently, and even with, you know, some of the pandemic and uncertainty in the air, I've still managed to stay quite busy. Ultimately, I'd give Bellator a 10 out of 10, would contract with them again.
It's a big night for Extreme Couture on Saturday, with also Mats Burnell in the main event, of course. And I saw you also train with Corey Anderson. How was it to be around these two guys?
Yeah, it's been a blast. Mads a little bit lighter than me, so I haven't been able to train with him as much. But it's the energy that he brings to the room, and you know, and like you said, at Extreme, it's a big night for Extreme. But also, it seems like it's always kind of a big night for Extreme. We always got some guys that are in the mix, whether it's a UFC fight night, whether it's Bellator show, whether it's, you know, a new promotion spotting about. We always got guys that are staying busy, and I think that really helps in the room, because you don't have, you know, a big show and then everybody's taking a break, and, you know, oh no, I have a show that was off from everybody. No, everybody's in, working appropriately, and then, you know, if somebody has their fight and they need to take a little time off, that's fine, because there's 3, 4, 6 other guys that are ready to hop in and help train and keep the energy up in the room. So yeah, it's been a positive experience, and it's been awesome having these guys in the room.
We'll take 2 more quick questions here from Dylan.
Hey there, Alex. I appreciate you making some time.
Hey Dylan, I'm just hanging out in St. Louis. It's not really a big thing.
But you were talking barbecue a bit earlier, and that got me thinking the Rock Bar and Grill. Are they playing the fights this time? And just what's the general enthusiasm in Beloit for this one?
You know, always popping up at the Rock Bar and Grill. If you're at that state line, Wisconsin, Beloit area, Wisconsin, Illinois area, you should stop by, give them a shout, grab some frickles, watch a little bit of violence, because they're going to be showing the fights. And even so much so that my friend and owner of the Rock Bar and Grill, Jim, is making his way down. He's gonna be out here watching, but you know, there should be a full house back at the Rock, airing the fights. Prelim card on YouTube starting at, oh no, I'm gonna mess it up. Is it 2 p.m. Central? Starting at 2 p.m. Central.
And I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, because earlier in the scrum you referenced pocket sand. Are you a King of the Hill fan?
Oh man, cough on the water a little bit. I feel like if you're not a King of the Hill fan, that you're missing an essential element of comedy that is, man, necessary to be well-rounded. Yeah, you got to watch some King of the Hill. And I'll even go so far as to watch some of his other, oh no, name's escaping me now. Creator of King of the Hill has lots of other funny stuff that he does. Yeah, I'm a fan. I don't want to get, I'll end up rambling if we talk too far into it.
Prelims start at 5 p.m. Central. Apologies.
5 p.m. Central. Corrected.
Thanks so much for the time.
Last question here, Ben Davis.
Hey, Alex, thanks for making the time. I'm curious, with that Arby's tattoo, are there any other restaurant logos that you might be interested in inking on your body?
You know, that depends on if restaurants are interested in getting a little bit of this real estate. I'm open for business. I know you guys are too. Whether you're hawking sandwiches or burritos, like, let's go. I'm down. You just gotta holler at me. Find me on Instagram. Find me on Facebook. The space is open and the stomach is willing. Let's do it.
Best of luck, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex. Appreciate your time.